is May the 31st at 4:05 actually. And I call the meeting to order. We are right now just looking at our budget because we've got to set our budget before June, and I gave it to you, did I not?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. I didn't make any copies of it, but if you want to, a lot of those is stuff that she needed us to all approve as far as just, it's not really part of our budget, I don't think.
Sure.
Okay. This right here, Seth, is our last year's budget. And we are looking at our budget versus actual. As of, it looks like, well, did you get it pulled up, Dirk?
No, I never did get it pulled up. I kept trying to find somewhere quieter.
Okay.
But I go ahead and tell the group what I suggest we do, and then somebody can tell me if there's an issue with it, or we just do it, because that way we're not belaboring things we need to approve. I would just make a motion that we adopt the same budget for the coming fiscal year as the past fiscal year.
Yeah. And that is $58,500.
Okay.
We're going to keep our promotional development and the finance services. Actually, our audit is going to be a different price than what it was last year.
Well, the big concern is that you're not overly optimistic on your revenues.
Right.
And you can set any of those things at any amount now and just amend the budget as we go through the year, because if the audit price is going up, we can't know exactly what that is maybe now, but we can amend the budget when it's time to pay it.
Right. I know it's different than last year's, but our budget is at $58,500 for the fiscal year of 2022 to 2023, starting in June. We just need to go ahead and get it finalized, get it set on the table, and let it sit out to the public for 10 days, because in June is when it's
I think it has to lay out 30 days.
30 days? Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's 10.
That's why today's the deadline.
Oh, okay.
And then we have to adopt it by the 30th of June.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. And so, Dirk, you motioned to just copy that budget for this year?
Yes. And
Yeah.
then since the finance officer elected not to give us current and accurate data or be available where we can ask questions, I just make a motion to do that, and then we'll amend the budget as we get into the year and see how things change.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to second.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Unanimous. Okay. Well, I guess that's it for the budget then.
If I could, I'd also like to address a couple of things that the finance officer mentioned to me.
Okay.
One is, I think we ought to pick some people on the board. When you turn in your time, can we just agree that any two, make it part of our policy, that any two board members can sign and approve your time? Because her thing is that, and she's right. Things that are in the budget that we do and have approved, you have complete authority to, when you're acting as the TNT director, to pay bills or do all that, because we've already approved whatever that is. If it's something to do with you personally, she would like more oversight there. So why don't we just make it part of our policy that any two board members can sign off on whatever you turn in for time, and then when it's turned in, it'll go to her with that on it already signed.
I'm
I
good
mean, I
with
think
that.
that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
So do we need to change it in the policy too, so that you can change that up for the next one that comes in, or
Well,
is that just for me?
if Brady's there, he'll know. If somebody comes in, then you won't have that issue because I assume that when Karen was there, somebody always approved her time.
Sonia did.
Which is kind of remarkable that she's now. But anyway, we won't get into all that. But just however the group feels about it, you hate to hear that something's not getting paid
Sure.
for some reason, and that takes that away. If somebody came into the position, then you'd still have. It's not a bad idea just to have two board members sign off on it.
Yep.
Just said that way.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I agree.
So you making the motion?
I did.
I'll second.
Unanimous.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
And then I'd also like to make a motion that you've not been paid because of this very issue, apparently, for some time. If the board's there, I'd like for them to look at, if you have that, whatever it is, to try to address that today. If we need to vote to pay it all, or if we need to just have two of them sign it, since we made that policy change, two there can sign it, and they should pay it.
Well, there's several timesheets in here, but then there's also all these invoices that are we supposed to make a motion to approve for the board to make to sign off on all of the items that I've purchased, like Josh Turner's thing.
Money, if it was things done for an event that we voted for, anybody correct me at the time, you should have the ability just to say, yeah, these are good, and they should be paid to whoever. If you went and bought flowers, for example, and there was budget money for flowers, you don't have to come to the board to get that approved each time.
Right.
Okay.
Did you need this invoice?
Does that make sense?
This is separate, I
That
guess.
is a separate one. It does. She's just got on here where that she wants Jens to approve all of these. She wants Jens to sign off on them as a board approval for, like when Josh done the car show and when I ordered the flowers and.
I think that was approved when we set the budget for that event, and she shouldn't be asking for that. But if it gets them paid, I don't have any trouble signing off on it. But we need to have a discussion with her in a meeting with the alderman, because that's not typically how that's done.
No.
Right.
Yeah, it had me confused too.
Do you want? Do we need to sign these each individually, or can we just do like first page here, first page here?
See, I don't know. I don't know what she was expecting. She has a board approval on each one of them.
Okay.
But,
we can.
That's my time. This is the different things that I've spent money on, and I don't know if she included all of them in this or not.
Right. And this is all for the car show and
The
concerts.
garden artesian, that's for the garden club when we put the flowers out in the baskets.
Oh, okay.
And we had already approved that last year.
Right.
And just to make sure, Ducks, we may want to hold off on formal approval until the 5 o'clock meeting, since this is
This is
kind of
just for
a
the budget.
budget only.
Okay.
And that way, we can discuss, before we
Okay.
before we make a formal kind of decision and then take action. And then
Okay.
that way, in case for some reason there was going to, anybody else wanted,
Sure.
Okay.
Were there two meetings noticed or just one?
2. There was the 4 o'clock for the budget. I set it at that time so that she could be here and kind of walk us through all the different changes and all that. And then I had the 5 o'clock at the regular time because that's when we had kind of set it up for that. She just,
Well, there's we should. Brady's right. We should wait till 5 to make all that official. But you're there and it's an open meeting, and
Mhm.
I don't see any reason you can't be talking about just anything, because whoever wants to listen can. But you wouldn't vote till 5.
okay.
but you can sure have it all lined up to where it's, not have to be talked through then.
Right. Okay.
Do you want
4 o'clock meeting, we've accomplished that.
Can I have your email so that I can send you the copy of the March minutes and the April, and then that way you'll be able to, because we had to table March's because we didn't have enough here to make the motion to pass the minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then you can have the April ones, and then you'll be able to we can all get that one going too.
Okay, it's adcody@gmail.com. And I'll tell you one that I found very interesting. Brady may know what the story is. The Board of Transportation, when we meet, if a member is there and we're approving minutes for a prior meeting when they were not there, that member still votes. And when I was county commissioner, we didn't do that.
So does that mean it's okay for you to vote on that?
So
Well,
I
typically refrain. I don't know if you're able to. That's not something I've ever dug into.
I think what the law says is if you're in a meeting, you have to vote. You can't just say I abstain. I don't think that's allowed unless they've changed it in North Carolina. So your choice is to vote yes or no based on I don't know what.
Okay.
Now it used to. I always thought, well, I wasn't there, so I don't vote on that. But when they started taking a poll of people when we were doing Teams meetings and Zooms, somebody would say, well, I wasn't there, so I don't know. And they'd say, well, you're in the meeting now, you need to vote. So I just got reminded.
And go and send these to him. Do we want to just
Recess.
right here or recess?
Yeah,
Until the 5.
that's fine.
I'm going to make a motion that we recess. It is, I hate these clocks, I can't see it, 4:18, and pick back up at 5 o'clock.
I'll second.
Yeah.
That sounds good. You'll actually be ending one meeting and then starting another.
Yeah. It's about 4:49, and it's 4:59, and I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. And I guess I need to kind of change the agenda. The first person there, Teddy Silvers, he called today and said that he would not be here. And I was fixing to strike John out, but he comes rolling in right at the
Last minute.
last minute.
Oh. And I'm lucky to be here.
Dirk, do we need to put anything on the agenda in regards to the invoices here and the timesheet?
I'd amend the agenda so that you can say you're going to approve some timesheets and invoices.
I'll make a motion to do that.
So I can just do it after the Chris does it at the very end. Or, I guess is that new business?
You can put it wherever you want it to. It doesn't matter. I won't be able to stay with you the whole meeting, but you got a quorum without me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll let John do his stuff, and then we can.
Put it after John.
Yeah, we'll put it down here under John.
So I'm going to make a motion to approve the agenda, striking out the Teddy Silvers and then adding the budget amendments after John Caldwell. Is everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Make a motion, or has everyone had a chance to read the minutes for April the 26th?
motion we approve them as written.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're looking at March the 29th that we had to table at our last meeting.
Yeah, motion to approve as written.
Everybody unanimous?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now we'll open up the floor for public comment. Since there's no one here.
No public.
We'll go ahead and go with John with Revved Up.
All right, well, I was hoping to come and talk about, we're hoping to do like a storytelling event, but we weren't able to get it together quick enough to come with any figures or anything like that. So right now we've tabled it. We may decide not to even do it this year, but we still, if we do that, we still would like to do some type of a fundraising event that would involve the town, and what that is, we're just not sure yet. Because if and when we do the storytelling, we want it to be successful, and we want it to be a good thing that's well attended, that does everything that everybody wants it to do.
Right.
The thing that I approached you about was the Aruba thing, which the only one that doesn't know about it is it Richard and Seth and Dirk. So what we've done is we're taking Revved Up in the way of a chamber of commerce, and so we've opened up our doors to bring in businesses, local businesses, to join with Revved Up. We're going to do a monthly meeting. It's going to be a luncheon meeting, so we're going to provide a lunch to everybody. And we want to bring in programs we'll bring in programs from like Southwestern Business Center, from Franklin Chamber of Commerce, from Mountain Biz Works. I've talked with all those folks about the idea that we would bring in speakers to help our businesses. We would have the meetings would start at 11:30, that we'd have a half hour for networking with the local businesses and the speakers or whatever. We'd provide a lunch that would start at 12, and then we'd have a program from 12:30 to 1, and then our board would meet after that. So that's been very well accepted in the businesses. We've got between 10 and 15 new members right now. I've got 10 checks and nods on 5 others. We would like the town, the RTA, to come in as a member and come to our meetings and send someone to our meetings. About half of the dues fees is $250 a year, and about half of that will probably go towards our meals. We do hope to have a couple corporate sponsors, which we're talking to Ingalls. I've had preliminary talks with them, and they're kind of on board. And so we'd kind of like the RTA to be like a government liaison member or whatever of our board. And so that's basically all we're going to ask for now, unless we do. The reason that we're doing this is because we lack operating expenses. We have no operating expenses other than what the town gives us. The town gives us $2,500 a year for our operating expenses, and we've got a lot of great projects. We've got a vacant lot on Main Street that we want to turn into a pocket park. We've got access to the 3 lots next to the VFW that we'd like to see a pavilion go in there that's going to be like $250,000. We've had ideas to put in a hiking trail or fitness trail from Ford Street up here. But all of these things take so much money, and we just don't have the funds, and we can't even hire a grant writer to come in and help us get the funds. And so right now, Revved Up really needs a grant writer or administrator, somebody to help take on all of our duties. And from directing this group how much time stuff like that takes. So at any rate, we'd like you all to consider being a member of our business group with Revved Up. Revved Up is still going to be Revved Up. We're still going to have our board of directors. We still have all the nonprofit things in our mission that we do with Revved Up. But then we want to gear this separate thing towards our businesses. So that's where we are.
I know we work good with you guys, and
We want to work good with everybody.
We do, yeah.
We're anxious to work with the county, and we're anxious to work with Graham County Travel and Tourism, and you know, we just want to promote the town and see the town do better.
yeah.
And you know we've been about that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So.
I'm going to make a motion that we go ahead and do the $250 a year for the Aruba. Maybe one of us can make it to one of their meetings as the RTA.
Did you all? I don't know if I don't have any of the other
That's what
flyers.
he gave us the last time. I kept it in my packet.
That was our idea. Brady has already seen that. Seth hasn't seen it. And Richard, is that right? Richard. So I normally carry a bunch of copies, but I've just come back from Charlotte, so I don't have anything with me. But anyway, that talks about Aruba. There's a little membership application that you can fill out, and that'll list what type of member you are and like that, and whatever. So. And we hope to have we're hoping to have our first meeting towards the end of this month. We normally meet at the church, at the Methodist church. They have a big community room with commercial kitchen, and we've got the restaurant members in the town will be using them for catering. So that we've already got Papa's Pizza and the Italian restaurant are members, and so they'll each do at least one lunch, and we'll see, about sponsor members like Ingalls has talked to us about donating fried chicken or something for a member. We've talked about the idea of maybe doing like an outdoor grill and having hamburgers and hot dogs for one meeting. But at any rate, so we'll have those. We just have to get a different location for this month and next month because the church has a reading program that's during their lunch. Or we might be able to meet outside under their picnic shelter outside. So, but as soon as I know those locations, I'll get back and tell you what we're going to do about our lunch and what time we'll meet and when we meet. We normally meet the third Thursday of the month, and we normally would meet on at 11:30 for that. But I'll have to get back with you for this month and next month's meeting.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
Y'all good with that?
Yeah, any questions?
It's just as a kind of an aside. I'm already signed up as a member of that, so just kind of wanted that to be known as far as voting is concerned, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And I've signed up our business as a member of.
Sure.
You have any thoughts, Dirk?
I'm full.
Okay.
Unanimous.
Okay.
I didn't hear that there was a vote yet. That I'm a yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I made the motion. Seth second, and it's unanimous.
Okay. Well, I guess, and then I'll pick up a check and then I'll bring you a membership application that can be
that'll
filled out,
fine.
and we're good.
If you can just give us some type of an invoice or something to
Sure. Yep, no problem.
Okay.
And also, I'll try to come back for your next meeting if that's possible, and get on the agenda and see what we can do as far as a fundraiser towards the end of the year.
Okay.
Okay?
All righty.
Thank
you,
you all.
John.
You had a good meeting.
You as well.
Appreciate
Have a
it.
good day.
Thanks, Randy. Thank you.
I'm going to kind of run through this old business now as far as we got the passport, the concert, the car show, and the fishing derby. Passports, I'm still handing out t-shirts. And in our budget thing, it looked like we still had like $900 in it. And I haven't, the girl that printed the t-shirts out hasn't sent me the invoice for the t-shirts, so that should take up quite a bit of that. And that's all off of the grant money that we were awarded. The Taylor Hicks concert, Amber, I'm sorry, said that she's still taking in the, looking into everything, but it looked like it helped them to buy their band uniforms, and so they were glad it all happened and they were appreciative. The car show, some guy said, he said, well, how did the car show turn out? And I said, well, it turned out good, I think, not as good as what last year's was, but the weather kind of kept it from it. And he said, well, I'm glad your expectations were met. And I mean, if we would have had 300 cars there, I still would have expected 310. My expectations are always going to be a little bit more than what it was, but I think it was a good turnout considering the weather, and we were very lucky to have as many cars as we did. Had several people asking if we could do it again this fall or November. And I'm honestly going to leave that all up to what you guys think. But I would like for you guys to kind of think between now and the next RTA meeting as a date for next year. Because a lot of the big car show people want to know a year ahead of time so they can kind of make their plans with it. And I know that was what the Vets for Vets had said. They would like to know, as early as possible. Definitely not as soon as what I was trying to throw it at them. So between now and then, just look at your calendars, and next month let's have a date to kind of set up and look into. The Fishing Derby, as excited as I was about it, I ended up having to cancel it until maybe September, early October. And the Wildlife Commission said that they were glad that we had, because they didn't think the fish could make it. I'm needing to look into getting sand between now and then. So if you guys can give me some ideas of where I can find some sand to put down to protect the tanks, because last year I think they got some holes in the bottom of it. The renaming of East Main Street to Veterans Hill is still a go. The dedication thing is, I'm still waiting for the state to kind of respond to that. But as far as us renaming East Main Street to Veterans Hill, that's something that we can go ahead and get into the works. I just need to know if that's the name that you guys would prefer for it to be. It would be down there at the stop sign, up to the stop sign here at the courthouse. And Harold Phillips, he said he liked that name. We could do it Boulevard if we wanted. We could do it Veterans Road. We can do it Veterans Street.
I think Hill's got a good
Yeah,
little ring to it. It's
I
a
think
little
it
hill
makes
coming
sense,
up.
too.
Yeah.
It's elevated.
Everybody calls it the hill.
Coming up the
so,
hill, yeah. And then that way we can get everything going, get the street signs, and maybe even have like something by Veterans Day, because I think that would be a good time to do it. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start working with some of the veterans so that we can maybe plan a little short ceremony or something during that time, if you guys are good with that. I think it would be a good thing, and I know our community would welcome it too. The garden club, if you guys have noticed the flowers around in the baskets, I've worked with Aaron Ammons and Satterfield's Briar Patch, and they brought some color. They're needing a lot of water, and between me and Aaron and the boys with the maintenance, we stay busy watering those flowers a lot. It's just that time of the year. Any suggestions for flowers anywhere else. In the pots, I guess you can see I had the trees took up. And I really like the ones that you put the one in front of yours. What are the name of those?
I have no idea. That's crystal coating.
Okay,
I can
well,
find out. Later.
Let Crystal tell me what those are, because I like the colors, and we need to start preparing the town for the 150th celebration. On our part of it, we need to try to start getting it more attractive and getting ready for all the people. That's about it for the old business. Dirk, have you got anything you would like to add to any of that?
Oh, no, it all sounds good.
Okay, so you guys be thinking of next year's car show and the schedule for the fishing derby, either September or October, and then I'll set those dates and let everybody know. Now we're going to move to the new business. And trunk or treat, that's actually what we kind of got started on, and it's just kind of started rolling. October the 31st is on a Monday, and the time that I have set for it is 5:30 to 7:30. If you guys think that we need to extend those hours, I will, but I think the school will still be doing theirs too. And that's a good time for the young kids.
My personal thought there is I like starting earlier, but I'm always the one that says that.
Well, I like the 5:30 to 7:30. It gives everybody a chance to get home, you know, or off work and get up here and get set up.
It does.
How light is it during that time? Like that time? What time's sunset in October?
That's your problem. Is it's going to be dark then.
Which, you know, I mean, man, I tell you, every year, I mean, they you know, you're going an hour after already just because they've lined up already and everything. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
Well, the
hard
time
to,
doesn't change until November now, so it doesn't get as dark as early. And that's why I thought, well, 5:30 to 7:30 would be good, because that's just right before dark.
Yeah.
And gives you a chance to get cleaned up and not have to be
What
getting
does
everything.
Halloween fall on this year? Do you guys know?
Monday.
Is it Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've already got 2 or 3 people asking about it, wanting to sign up and stuff, so I just wanted to make sure we're good with that 5:30 to 7:30 time.
I think that's fine. I mean, it gives people time to get off work. I understand Dirk's
Yeah.
point, but it's hard to do it much earlier. I mean, nobody
Yeah.
trick or treats at 4 o'clock, you know,
Yeah.
generally.
What time did we start this last year?
It was earlier in the day. I think it was
It was on the weekend, wasn't
yeah.
it, Richard?
It was an afternoon.
We done it like on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Because it was before the school. This last round, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we done it Saturday day the last time because it was on the weekend.
But it was up in the evening.
I
wasn't
think, didn't we start at 3 or
I think at 3
3:30?
to
Yeah, it
5,
was like
maybe.
3 to 5, I think. Yeah. I can back it to 5 if you want to.
Did you say the school is also doing it that evening?
I haven't heard, but I'm sure they will.
Well, that's not something we absolutely have to know today.
No.
Let's look and see. I think my concern is kids in the street and it's dark.
Okay. Okay.
Now, I know the time doesn't change for a week or 2 after that. I realize that, but somewhere there's something we can look at to tell us when it'll be dark. And it's going to be harder because people will be working, whereas this past year it was Saturday and they weren't working.
Yeah.
You know, there was no school that day.
Well, we'll still leave the time kind of open. I won't get that posted just yet. But it's something for us to think about by our next meeting anyway. Now, the 150th celebration. we've been working on that a little bit, and they're wanting to try to do that in an off-season tourism time, hoping to pull in some tourists and stuff before school starts too. And they are setting up the one for our side of the mountain, what they call August the 19th through the 20th. And the 19th is going to be set up with music on the square, and they're doing in honor of Billy Ed, and we've got the J Creek Cloggers and several different things happening. And then on August the 20th, they've got from 10:30 to 4:30, and it's just going to be one of those downtown type events, not just in this one certain area. But I was wondering, I know Brady, you'll be involved because your building's in town, and Dirk, you'll be involved because your building's in town. But as far as the rest of us, the RTA, I didn't know if we might want to take on a part of it and help them out with it. It's just something for us to think about, Richard.
Why did they put it so late? That's puzzled me, because at the 100th, which I remember, that's terrible to be that old. You know, we had things all through the summer, but around the 4th was the big event. My concern, it's not a concern, but what I think will happen, you're probably going to have football that Friday. May or may not, but I bet you do. And then everybody's getting ready to go back to school. I mean, I don't see people traveling here from somewhere else that late if they've got families, because they'll be going back to school wherever they are if they're not already in school. But
well, at first they were just going to do it as a one weekend type thing and break it down between Fontana and Stecoa and Robbinsville, and then all of a sudden at the last meeting they just decided to make it 2 different weekends. The 13th weekend is at Stecoa, and then the 19th weekend is here. So that's just what they kind of rolled with, and I guess we're just, going to do what we can do as far as trying to help them with it. I know the town's the main place for it all.
I mean, for myself and then for Brady too, we have a wedding that weekend. So.
Oh, we do.
Yes, we do.
That's right.
Yeah, they just, I don't know. That's just what they thrown out there, and
well, we need to see what we can do to help.
Yeah.
And as far as physically being there, that's not going to be much way for that to happen with the wedding.
Well, I get that. I do.
We're going to
Okay.
invite them all to the wedding, I guess.
I've had the mayor talking to me about wanting to do a 5K and like a turkey trot in November or something, but is that something that Jens would like for me to start planning on and working out? Maybe Dirk can be the
I really
turkey.
would, because I'd like to try, for us, this board, try to cooperate with the mayor when he has an idea. Then maybe we can get him to work with us on other things and involve him just a little more, because he is the mayor.
Right. Well, I'm all for it if Jens are for it too.
Yeah.
So we kind of called it a turkey trot. Do Jens want me to shoot for it to be around a little bit before Thanksgiving? Not necessarily
You probably
Thanksgiving
need to have it
weekend.
before. Yeah.
That's kind of what I wanted to do. Okay. I'll
You
get
pretty
that
much
going.
lose your weather for the most part
Yeah.
after the second or third weekend in October that you can count on. Now, we had a beautiful Halloween one year, and then we had a rainy one last year, and we've had more bad ones than good ones. So the weather's dicey when you get that late.
In the earlier November, you can get kind of more leaf season still.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to look into possibly, well, not really the first weekend in November, because ain't that the Veterans Day? may be able to tie it all in during the Veterans Day thing. Maybe do a 5K for it, and then plus the dedication.
Yeah.
That
Maybe.
would be nice.
That would be nice.
That would be, yeah.
I'll look into trying to plan both of them around the same time then.
That's what I do.
Are you, when you're talking about the road there, Debbie, are you talking about just the town renaming it, or are you talking about the DOT naming it?
The DOT.
Okay, and you've been talking to Sazia or Shelley or some of those people?
No, I haven't spoke to anyone on DOT. That I emailed them and no one's ever responded. But I spoke with AMS and I spoke with the Graham County 911 addressing. And you can change a street name fairly easy. It's just the dedication of it is what takes a little bit more lengthy time as far as the DOT and getting the state on board with all that.
Well, I'll try to ask Shelley or Sazia to give you a call.
Okay, that'll work. And last on all of our new business is the Christmas parade and the Christmas Extravaganza. I'm looking at the dates of December the 3rd or the 10th. I really wanted to find out when they were doing the cookie crawl because it worked good with that last year.
Yeah.
And that's the date that I'm wanting to set up with.
I bet they've not set that in stone yet, so I bet if that could be coordinated to be the same day. That would be,
Okay.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, well, I'm going to look to do that with the cookie crawl if everybody's good with that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, all right. Then that's it for our meeting except for some closed session or...
Was the thing we added,
The invoices.
the
Oh,
invoices,
the invoices, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I didn't even write it down. Okay. So our invoices, on our financial statement that Sonia gave us today, our concert, it's not broke down, but it is at like $40,000, and I'm not for sure what that amounts to. I know in February, our concert was $27,500, and our balance due was $14,000 because we had wrote 2 checks. And the day of the concert, those checks were written, and I gave them that. But as far as anything else, I don't know where that extra amount has come from. I can't give an answer on that. I just do know that I gave out, the checks and everything was square. So
We'll certainly need to do a budget amendment on that because it's greatly exceeded the amount we budgeted.
yeah,
And to have the breakdown would be very
I would
nice.
like to
Yeah.
have the breakdown of it because I don't know where that extra.
The stage, the stage is in there.
Yeah, the stage is in this.
It's in there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely will need it broke down.
And we'll have to do a budget amendment before the year ends.
Okay.
So we'll probably have to have a meeting before the end of June, which we will have anyway to
Yeah.
adopt the budget, but we'll need to clean up this year at that time.
Yeah. Okay. What other items was Jens wanting to talk about as far as signing off on all of the different receipts?
So yeah, Derek, we've got these receipts here that Debbie has provided us, and therefore the car show, a lot of them are. I think I've got about 6 receipts here for the car show, and it's well within budget, the total of all these receipts for what we expected. So I motion let me finish up too, because we've got a few for the hanging baskets around town.
Yeah, they're not on here though.
But I see in the minutes that we were looking at around $1,500 for that.
Yeah.
And I have 2 receipts here, and they're well below that. Well, they're below that $1,500. So that seems to be within budget. I'm not sure what this one's for.
Let me see that one. It's part of that, those baskets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're in that somewhere.
Sure. So even a third receipt for the baskets, still within that $1,500 budget. So I motion we approve these get paid.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unanimous.
Good. And then Dirk, what did you think about signing these? Do we need to sign these individual invoices one by one? I know we said 2 signs off, and that's good now as part of our kind of procedures here, but what do you think about that? Debbie's not sure.
You talking about on the invoices for things?
Yeah.
If it's budgeted, I don't think anybody has to,
Yeah.
but if it gets it paid, then
Okay.
I guess you can sign off on them, but we need to have a meeting with the finance officer and
Sure.
make
Okay.
sure that what we're doing or what policy we adopt fits what we should be doing.
Most of the stuff has already been paid except for, I'm not sure about that one,
Mhm.
and Josh Turner's music. I don't know if his has been paid. That's the only other 2 that I don't know if she sent a check for them. So if you got, if as long as I guess you approve them, then she can make the checks out.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the final thing we have here is a daily timesheet for Debbie Beasley. She's took over from Karen Taylor on February 4th, 2022. She's got all of her time that she's worked here in a stack of papers stapled together. So I make a motion. I think all we're needed on this is signatures that we approve these. So I make a motion we do approve these. Okay.
I'll vote yes on that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get these 2 invoices signed as well as this timesheet.
And the only other thing I don't know, it was in the package, was the town of Robbinsville, the invoice for
Let me see that one.
3410.
This was for Sonia wanting to be reimbursed for handing out passports, taking phone calls, and car show applications. She said she never had to do it before.
So, and is she doing that in her during her hours as a town employee?
Yeah, and in the past it was always done before too, and this
Yeah.
is part of last year's car shows, and she didn't get reimbursed for it then.
Well, if we were doing that, we'd reimburse the town. We wouldn't pay her directly.
Well, it's from the town of Robbinsville.
Yeah, well, did the alderman vote to do that? That's my question.
Yeah. So that I would just like to, with that one, I would just want to see some documentation just as to the hourly rate. And as to that may be one we want to consult with the town about specifically.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, did the alderman, did you all vote to do that, Debbie, or did Sonia just do that on her own?
I think she just done that on her own. I know that, they talked about the maintenance men and us needing to come up with some kind of a solution for them.
Mm-hmm.
But that, I don't have a clue.
Yeah, we probably should just try to get it to go to one of their meetings, and I know they meet tomorrow. That's probably a little quick, but it's something we need to just figure out. If it's something that needs to be done, we obviously want to do it.
Yeah. But it also need to be budgeted if it's going to be something that's going to happen in the future with, whether it be this, whether it be with maintenance, to know kind of what expectations are as far as hourly rates and.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess we table this for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Do we need to go into closed session? Does anybody have anything for that?
I can do my thing in open session. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Derek, we talked about it a little bit, but I will be resigning from my position here on the Robbinsville Travel and Tourism Authority Board here. So I just wanted to make that aware and everybody aware of that.
Well, I sure hate to hear that.
Well, buddy, it's just one of those things. Time requirement. I don't have it right now. Young father.
I understand that completely.
Yeah, a fella can get too much to do, can you?
That's right. That's right. But I've enjoyed it.
Well, I've I've enjoyed having you there, and all you got to do now is pick your replacement, and then you can go.
Oh, I have to pick my replacement, do I?
Yeah. You have to offer suggestions. Anyway.
Okay. All right. I can do that.
All right.
Sure. I'd have picked Brady had I done this a month ago. Yeah, she got me there. I'll send those to Debbie.
He'll send them to me and we'll look over it and get somebody else. If nothing else, make a motion to adjourn this meeting. What time is it?
All right.
5:37.
See you guys.
Yeah.
See you, Dirk.
Bye.